there are the two championship challengers, Wayne Maxwell and Troy Herfoss.
And they were the clear pace setters yesterday. They were the only two in the race for the
carbon
wins,
copy
really.
of last year, really, isn't it? They were untouchable here last year, both on board the Honda CBR 1000 SPs.
So ready for a 12-lap race start.
In the starter's hands, red lights are on, and they're away. Good start from everybody on the front row of the grid.
Herfoss got great starts all day yesterday, and he's done it again today, and he will lead the field through turn 1 for the first time and onto Berwick Leather's top straight.
Jamie Stauffer
behind him.
Jamie Stauffer up into 4th place ahead of Mad Mike Jones, so he's got a good start from the second row of the grid, has Jamie, as they come down into turn 3 for the first time. But it's the two Team Honda and 2 of the 3 Yamaha Racing Team riders that make up the top 4, with Mad Mike Jones, our leading privateer, in 5th position on the Cube Racing Australian Outdoor Living Machine.
Troy actually lost the front a couple of times entering that Race Tech suspension sweeper there, Phil. That looked a little bit unsettled there.
Yeah, as they start the technical section of the circuit, you think that this is probably the part of the circuit that would suit the Honda CBR 1000 SP, as Herfoss, you can see how hard he is to try and get on the gas out of that corner, a bit of a front end wobble as the bike changed direction there. But Wayne Maxwell was the guy that looked so smooth through there yesterday.
Yeah, look, Wayne looked to be hardly trying. Of course he was, and that's just his riding style, but he looked to be hardly trying, while Herfoss was just absolutely ballistic, especially down into the scene, just sliding into that Ipone at the end of the Ipone, rules back straight there into Ipone turn 10.
But it does have the sign Dr. Drift. So he was just doing what it says.
Yeah.
But look at actually, I don't know if it was the camera angle or not, but he has actually pulled out a little bit of a lead through those long straight sections, which probably really favour the the rocket ship, the Yamaha R1M model, as they come round to complete the first lap. And probably a time from a 27.28 from a standing start. A 27.0 for Troy Herfoss. An unbelievable lap from a standing start on board the Team Honda Racing CBR 1000 SP.
So much aggression just pouring out of every pore of Herfoss's body this weekend. Just the aggression is just absolutely out there. I've never seen it quite so intense.
Well, the amount he was sweating yesterday, that wasn't the only thing that was coming out of him, because when he came in from each race, he looked physically spent, like he'd just done a very long cycle. We know how good he is as a cyclist, but he looked like he'd been pushing the pedals pretty hard throughout the entire race.
I was sweating just watching.
Yeah, and as we see now, Maxwell closes right up onto the back. That's where he made one of his big overtaking manoeuvres yesterday on the brakes. Look how close Maxwell gets to the back of Herfoss's machine as they start through the Kawasaki S's now. He's literally all over the back of Herfoss, and he's put a bike length or 2 gap on his teammate Glenn Allerton on board bike number 4. Jamie Stauffer, Mad Mike Jones, and looks like Crew Halliday all queued up behind that group now, battling. Herfoss
backing it in there into Dunlop turn 10. Once again, he's just absolutely spectacular into that corner. I couldn't believe he kept it upright all day yesterday. They're just absolutely ridiculous things he was doing into that turn. And that's what he's had to do to try and stay with Wayne. But Wayne just looks unfazed and untroubled, and doing it relatively easy, which was, of course, very frustrating for Mr. Herfoss, having to watch on from behind with how much effort he was putting in.
And one of the things that Troy was saying when we were doing a lap around the track with him this morning on board the CBR 1000 is that I noticed the amount of times that he said that he purposely apexes late so that he can get on the gas. And you can see it there. He was a little bit wider than Wayne Maxwell into the end of the Ipone straight, Ipone turn 10. Once again, he gets on the gas hard, puts the bike up onto the fat part of the tyre. This is the section of the track where the Honda is really good because it flows from one corner to the next and through this long, bumpy left-hander. You can see the suspension working overtime now as he tips down into the long left-hander. But Maxwell is extremely good on the exit of this corner and the start of the S's. And this is where he made a big pass yesterday as he tries to go around the outside. No, just tries to square up the entry for the Kawasaki S's.
Both our leading duo were the only men in the 122s on that second lap, but I think Allerton might be into the 22s this time as well, because he's closed right back up on the back of Wayne Maxwell. There
was literally 4 thousandths of a second between Wayne Maxwell and Troy Herfoss on the last lap as they come down to the end of the Ipone straight and through Ipone turn. That's the most inline Troy Herfoss has been into that corner all weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
He did have the leg out, though, trying to pull the bike up as quickly as he could. As look at Allerton, head right down behind the screen. He is looking to try and claw back that little bit of distance that he lost on the last lap. And he's actually got away from Jamie Stauffer.
Allerton's struggling on corner exit, clearly, because he was really close on Maxwell there through the Kawasaki S's.
That goes back to what he was saying yesterday. They had the bike good on worn tyres, but on new tyres, they just didn't have the immediate grip on the exit of the corner. And he pulls up back again once in top speed.
But as soon as he has to get on the gas, he just seems to lose that bike length or two to Wayne Maxwell, which of course is incredibly frustrating for Allerton. But this top 3 very close together again now.
Crew Halliday looking to try and get a move on Jamie Stauffer as well. He's managed to find his way past Mad Mike Jones in that battle for the fourth place at the moment. We've got two distinct groups of three that lead this race, with Herfoss, Maxwell, Allerton, then Jamie Stouffer, Crew Halliday, Mad Mike Jones, then Matt Walters just starting to pull the riders in from in front of him, as he is in a lonely 7th place at the moment, with Ben Burke and Lyndon McGee once again having a good battle between the two of them, as they did pretty much all day yesterday.
That Fireblade looks to be set up a little bit stiffer than normal this weekend, Chris. It's just perhaps normally rides the bumps the best, but I can actually see Troy getting a few little vibrations over some of the bumps there, while this time around the Yamahas are looking particularly settled. Well,
as I said, I spoke to Troy this morning, and he said, the comment was, I said, have you made any changes since yesterday? He just looked at me and smiled and said, we've got a whole new motorcycle. So he said considerable changes been made to that motorcycle overnight by the guys at Team Honda.
And look who was the fastest man on the last lap.
Glenn Allerton.
He was the only man to get back into the 22. So
in actual, that's the fastest lap of the race. It was on that last lap for Glenn Allerton.
By 1,000th of a second.
Yes, as they, that gives you an idea of how close.
It's not close at all.
In actual fact, the top three have now set a lap that is within 5 1,000ths of a second of each other as their fastest laps of the race.
The closeness of this category all year has just been absolutely outstanding. It's been the best year of domestic road racing I've ever witnessed in the 16 years I've been attending pretty much every road race event, any top-level road race event staged in this country. It's been absolutely spectacular.
I just noticed then that through the long sweeper that the Yamahas looked like they were able to hold a much tighter line than Troy Herfoss's. Lyndon McGee, Ben Burke having a great battle there as they go round through that long sweeper. And in actual fact, it looks to me like Crew Halliday has actually made a bit of a break from Jamie Stouffer and is now starting to close up onto the back of this lead group of three. And the more that they battle, the man from southwestern Sydney looks like he really has got the bit between his teeth after what would have been a disappointing day yesterday for him.
Wayne Maxwell's having to try harder today.
It looks like he's having to try harder. Look at the front wheel coming up there as, well, Herfoss is full of determination, and Wayne Maxwell, yesterday we said did it easy. Looks to be having to go a little bit harder today, but you know that Wayne Maxwell, he's like Felix the Cat. He'll dip into the bag of tricks and try and pull something out.
Certainly will, and he still looks very, very smooth, but it's certainly, I can say, he's to be having to try a little bit harder days. He tries up the inside there into turn 1 and does it. He's going to pass Troy Herfoss and will take the lead into the Berwick Leathers.
Herfoss is going to try and come back on the inside though as they go down towards turn 3.
He knows he has to. And of course Herfoss hounded Maxwell from behind all day yesterday, trying to force an error from the defending champion. But Maxwell was just flawless.
As they drive hard out down now towards the long Race Tech suspension sweeper.
You can really see Wayne having a go now. You can now really see the aggression coming out. He's trying very, very hard to try and break away as he gets a little bit of wiggle there through the Race Tech end of the Race Tech suspension sweeper.
Allerton was so wide through the sweeper as he tried to get a good line through there and into the start of the Kawasaki S's.
Wayne got a brilliant drive out of that first part of the S's there.
So as they come round through the second part of the Kawasaki S's now, Trevor, out onto the Ipone straight.
Crew Halliday's made a march forward. He's passed Mike Jones and up into that 4th position, and the fastest man on the circuit.
Yeah,
22.5 to Crew that time around.
Mad Mike Jones has also got past Jamie Stouffer, who's now slipped back to a 6th position, and will very shortly be coming under the attention of Matt Walters.
So Crew, the fastest man on the track by nearly half a second.
Well,
that came from nowhere.
It was that Troy Herfoss running wide, Allerton trying to get up the inside of him as they made their way through the final 2 corners.
And this is what Wayne Maxwell's been after. He's been trying to get his teammates up the front there so they can get in front of Troy Herfoss and take more points off the series leader. There
goes Glenn Allerton up the inside, and here comes Crew Halliday as well. Well, it's back to the Australian Grand Prix, was it in 1990, when Loris Caparossi was mugged by Loris Caparossi used the Italian mafia to mug his competitor in the World Championship. All the Yamaha guys now ganging up on Troy Herfoss.
And this is exactly what Wayne Maxwell needed. So this will be a huge blow to Troy Herfoss, especially if Crew, like I say, Crew's the fastest man on the circuit that previous time before. And so he's perhaps only a matter of time before he's also going to squeeze past Herfoss. Mike Jones there also. Maxwell down to a 22.7. As you can see, the aggression level just step up after he slipped past Troy Herfoss into turn 1 that previous lap.
I'll tell you what, on the entry into the Kawasaki S's on that occasion, Trev, you can see the front end of the CBR 1000 having to work overtime to deal with the bumps and the aggression that are currently being displayed by Troy Herfoss.
That's what I'm saying. We generally don't really see that. The Fireblade looks a little bit stiffer this weekend than what we've seen at previous rounds, and perhaps that's something they'll tweak for the second 12 lapper when they come out again this afternoon, because we have 3 by 12 lap races in this Swann Australasian Superbike category today.
And we're only just over half race distance, Trev. They're about to come around and complete 7 laps, so there'll be 5 laps to go at the completion of this one. And a man that's looking extremely determined at the back of this group is the man on bike number 9, Mad Mike Jones. He's looking well, after coming off a successful weekend, wrapping up the Phillip Island Championship last weekend at the Grand Prix support races. Won the round and won the 2-round Phillip Island Championship. Been a big year for the Cube Racing rider from Queensland.
Just waiting for our timing to refresh to see if just how hard Winton's still on the gas there. So we'll give you that gap as soon as we can.
So the gap from Maxwell back to Allerton, I reckon that's probably about 1.5 seconds looking at it as they make their way through the sweep. Oh, Glenn Allerton runs wide again. Herfoss comes back with a tight line on board the Honda, but Allerton then seems to be able to punch out of the corner.
Inside.
Oh, not quite.
A 22.4 that last time around for Wayne Maxwell. And you're right, Phil, the gap's out to 1.43 seconds. So,
I reckon that's about 1.5.
And so Maxwell is 14 thousandths of a second off his race lap record he set last year. Herfoss going to look up the inside of Allerton down into Dunlop turn 10.
Not quite.
That cost him time. Halliday's going to get him at the end of this Dunlop straight down into Dunlop turn 11. I think it's going to cost him.
It lost a lot of momentum.
And Mike Jones might mug both of them. But yet Crew has. Troy's going to stick it back up the inside.
He's going to run wide.
He's going to lose 2 positions. Runs off the circuit and might even slip back behind Jamie Stouffer. So this is exactly what Wayne Maxwell needed. He's got his teammates in front of Troy Herfoss, and now Mike Jones joined that party as well.
In fact, Mike Jones has gone flying past Crew Halliday on the run up the Swann Insurance main straight as they tip down through the S's with the 8 laps down, 4 laps to go. It is Mad Mike Jones that has moved up into 3rd place on the road.
And, at the end of this race, if this stays like this with Troy Herfoss back in 5th or 6th position, I think we should have Lance interview Troy Herfoss for some choice words rather than our podium finishes. Troy will be very, very frustrated at today's proceedings so far. As we see Crew trying to come back at Mike Jones, geez, he's pushing hard on that Cube Racing ZX10. You see it get very untidy there at the end of that Race Tech suspension sweeper. And now they can negotiate Kawasaki S's. Crew looking quite smooth, actually getting on the gas quite well out of that first turn 7 there.
Interesting looking at Mad Mike Jones's bike too, because it actually looks a lot lower in the back end than what a lot of the Kawasaki's do.
Yeah, it certainly does. It's a ride low in the rear, which is a bit of a feature of the Kawasaki anyway. But yeah, Mike Crew up the inside. So
Jones had to pick the bike up then and stand it up so that Crew Halliday could come up the inside.
Well, Mike left the door wide open. Crew was always going to walk through it.
So as they come down to the end of the Dunlop straight, Jones closes up again on the back of the Yamaha Racing Team machine, bike number 6 of Crew Halliday. Wayne
Maxwell's disappeared. He now leads the race by around 2.5 seconds. As we see Mike Jones trying to come back at Crew, looking up the inside into turn 1. Has to think better of it. These two also challenged Glenn Allerton for that 2nd place.
How late was Crew Halliday on the brakes there? You can see the bike was just drifting sideways. I didn't think he was actually going to be able to get anywhere near the apex, but he did.
With 3 laps to run now, Wayne's he's got, like I say, 2.5 second lead. He's probably just going to ease off a little bit and save that tyre for the 2 12-lappers this afternoon. He'll only win by exactly how much he needs to win by, which is a nose. But he just wants to keep that gap. As long as it's safe, I think he'll back off and try and save that rear tyre for this afternoon.
Yep, so we're on lap 10 of the 12-lap journey. Just recapping our positions, it is Maxwell leading from Allerton, Halliday, so the 3 Yamahas leading the race at the moment from Mad Mike Jones on board the Cube Racing Kawasaki, our leading privateer. Then it's Jamie Stouffer and Troy Herfoss, the 2 Team Honda riders. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jamie Stouffer do his mate Troy Herfoss a favour and let him ahead. Well, actually, I think Herfoss might try and force his way ahead in the closing stages of this race. Then the next rider through is Matt Walters, 2nd place in the Pro-Am Cup. Linda McGee in 8th place, Ben Burke in 9th, and Evan Biles rounds out the field in 10th place at the moment. But
this looks as though it's going to be a huge turning point in the championship field. Troy Herfoss has led this series all year. From nobody's in front of him. Nobody's been in front of him.
End of the first round.
And that's
because he didn't win the first race of the year. That was won by his then temporary teammate, Aidan Wagner. But from then on, that's right, with courtesy of some good results and strong performances at every round, has maintained a healthy lead. It's waxed and waned a little bit, but Maxwell made some not real good performances at the last round, which allowed Troy to get that lead back out a little bit. His home round at Goulburn.
That's right. Troy did take a little bit back there, but Maxwell's been the quiet achiever all season, really. Just seems to be plugging away.
And it started off the year with a brand new motorcycle that had undergone 4 20-minute sessions of development when they hit the track at the first round.
And we always knew they were going to get stronger as the season progressed, but we expected Honda to be strong here this weekend, but the Yamaha guys tested here recently, and they've just hit it out of the ballpark, and Honda guys have been left scratching their heads with trying to find that pace to match them. And
Wayne Maxwell's actually done quite a few laps around here at Winton Motor Raceway, courtesy of his work with Champions Ride Days and doing a bit of coaching. And at the moment, he's making his way down towards the end of the Ipone straight and through Ipone corner. He blasts now out onto the Dunlop straight, torturing the rear Dunlop.
Crew a little bit wide there, so Mike's going to have a look up the inside here. He does. Has to pull out. Crew's late enough on the brakes, but
can he get the apex though?
Crew made a little bit of mistake there.
But a big effort from Crew to actually pull that bike back online and actually get through the apex. Jones on the gas now as they come out onto the Swann Insurance main straight.
Mike's getting great drive out of some of these turns. He really got the back end.
Jones up the inside, has a bit of a run. God, I think he had his front tyre level with Crew Halliday's back one, but he just couldn't push it that extra fraction forward. They were so on the limit as we start the last lap, Trev, over the top of the hill and down into turn 3 for the last time. This is the battle for third place on the podium.
I think Jones has got more pace than Halliday, but Halliday's just riding smart, keeping the Kawasaki behind him and frustrating Jones a little bit on a couple of the corner entries. And of course, that's his job. He's got to keep him behind him, but Jones will be a little bit frustrated because I think he might have a little bit better race pace than Crew. Crew just running over a few bumps there in the
fastest man on the last lap, though, was Glenn Allerton with a 22.8, doing his fastest lap of the race on the penultimate lap of this first 12-lap outing for the Ipone Superbike class.
This is our race leader just negotiating the end of the Kawasaki S's there. Then number 4, Glenn Allen. Crew Halliday trying to stave off the advances of Mike Jones, who's trying to spoil this Yamaha 1-2-3 party as they head down to Ipone turn 10 for the last time.
Herfoss is up into 5th place now ahead of Jamie Stouffer. Still lapping in the 22s is Troy Herfoss with a 22.9 on the last lap.
So he was faster than most of these riders on that last lap, but yep, he will be very frustrated after this one, and it probably won't be much fun getting back in the pit box with Troy Herfoss after that frustration. See, Yamaha 1, 2, 3, the YRT crew will be absolutely ecstatic with that result.
Yeah, so Maxwell takes the victory from Allerton, Crew Halliday. The big question is who's going to take the battle between this, what has been a race-long, weekend-long battle between Lyndon McGee and Ben Burke. Lyndon McGee on the satellite Honda team racing machine. He should take the victory. Great recovery from the surgery he had later on this year. And Ben Burke, well, comes back strong at the line, but good battle there between Lyndon McGee and Ben Burke for 8th and 9th positions.
Well, another outstanding battle of Swann Australasian Superbike Championship action. Once again, as you see, confirmation of your results. See Wayne Maxwell, our race winner by 2.4 seconds. Didn't back off the pace towards the end of the race quite as much as what I thought he would to save that rear tyre. Glenn Allen second, Crew Halliday third, managed to stave off the advantages of a charging Cube Racing Kawasaki Mike Jones,
who was also our leading Pro-Am Cup rider. And
then we have the 2 Team Honda riders, Troy Herfoss and Jamie Stouffer, which Troy making a mistake there, which cost him a couple of positions. And
will Troy Herfoss come out with a different setup on the motorcycle? Obviously that one may not have worked as he has intended.
That's right, I mean, but it still looked good. It's just you could see Wayne had to push harder today. The lap times looked to be harder to achieve this time. I don't know if that's a factor of track temp or whether they've changed setup overnight, but Wayne really looked to be doing it even easier yesterday. So maybe the others can really bring it back to him this afternoon, because we have 3 of these 12-lap races here today at Winton Motor Raceway.
Wayne Maxwell, hot conditions out there, but mate, the effort certainly gives you the rewards. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't thank my mechanic Warren enough. As I said yesterday, I had Jeff. You know, I've had Jeff here this weekend. I've had Plummy in the other rounds, but the whole Yamaha team, you can see by 1, 2, 3 in the race, we all work together, and the results show on track. You know, sometimes it's either myself leading or it's Glenn leading the setup thing, but at the end of the day, we all help each other, and that's what a team's about. And that's what we're here to do, is represent Yamaha and get the best job done we can, and I think we've done that today so far.
So far, so good. You were talking yesterday about nurturing along young Crew Halliday. 3rd place today. That must give you a really comforting feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's good to see Crew up there. He's a great rider, and we need more young talent coming through. So he's getting older. I did tell him he was getting a few wrinkles, but yeah. He's Glenn and I whinging about all our aches and pains, and he'll go, "Don't laugh, mate. That'll be you in a few years." But no, it's all good, mate, and happy to get out of here with another win.
Good on you, mate. Thank you. Go rest up for race 2.
Thank you.
There you go. Second place, Glenn Allerton, doing a fantastic job. Glenn, you were talking about improvements in the bike yesterday. It seems as though it's coming to fruition today. Well done.
Yeah, for sure. That was, you know, awesome for the team to get a 1, 2, 3. Really happy for Crew to dig himself out of the hole that he was in yesterday. It's obviously I want to win. I don't want Wayne to keep winning all the races. I want to win. So we'll go back and make a few changes, try and make my bike a bit better so I can take it to Wayne in this next race.
Good on you, mate. Look after yourself.
Thanks.
And Crew Halliday doing a fantastic job. It's been, sorry for the tardiness, folk. It's been a long time since we've seen Crew on the podium.
Come on, Lance.
Well done, congratulations.
Thank you. You know, the team worked flawlessly overnight to get this bike set up. You know, I had a bit of trouble yesterday and on Friday warm-up, but, you know, we got the thing sorted for the main day. Can't say enough for the team, you know. Kev working that suspension like a magician and, yeah, thrilled.
It looked like you had confidence in the bike for a change. You've struggled with that psychologically in the year so far, haven't you?
Yeah, you know, I was really on a high at Queensland, and that crash sort of knocked the wind out of me a little bit. But then we have just a bad weekend at Wakefield. Then, you know, you need to try to snap out of that as soon as possible, so you don't keep going down that low track. But you know, this has brought me back up, and look forward to the next one.
Well, only the stronger and better riders survive those sorts of conditions. Well done to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And